See the high-activity map of the UFOs in the world, compiled by the Pentagon June 1, 2019. During the May 26, 2019 edition of the program Coast to Coast AM, George Knapp and Luis Elizondo talked about a map of the Pentagon with areas of high UFO activity, which will be presented in episode 2 of the new television series Unidentified of the History Channel. High Activity Map of the UFOs. The site silvarecord.com, by Danny Silva, published the map, seen above, along with the interview of George Knapp with Luis Elizondo, which can be read partially below. George Knapp, Gary Voorhis. Hope not to reveal much, but it is in an episode. He was a radar guy. I do not know. I'm trying to remember what ship he was in. Maybe he was at Princeton too, supporting the same story. He comes close to talking about something that was underwater, that he had contact with a submarine and someone on the submarine. About a ping of sonar. I tried to ask Dave Fravor about it too, about what object was seen in the water, because there was something really big. If he hadn't seen this really big thing that was underwater, kind of creating white bubbles, he might not have seen Tic Tac because he was too small. Could you talk about it? Was there anything underwater, or are you going to dodge me like Dave Fravor did? Luis Elizondo, you know what? Like I said before, in the few times I have spoken publicly, there seem to be some interesting correlations, and in my resignation to the Secretary of Defense, one of them was potentially our nuclear capability, and I won't go into details about it, but surely you can imagine because that would be important. But there also seem to be some very interesting congruences related to water. Now does that mean large masses of water, small bodies of water, flowing bodies of water? You know, of course, there are still many unknowns. But there are reports many reports in fact, that for some reason the UAP activity is often associated near or above water. UAP, English acronym for Unidentified Aerial Phenomena, which in Portuguese would be FANI. George Knapp, I think that's all I'm going to get from you. Let me try this way. So this is kind of a hint of episode 2, if you can talk about it. There's a map of UFOs. It was created by and for the Pentagon. It will be shown for the first time. Highlights. I think you could call it UFO UAP access points. Anything you can say about that? Luis Elizondo, I can say that it is an authentic map, is correct, and there were designated areas where the UAP activity had been observed. So, as can be seen above and published on Danny Silva's website, the History Channel and Unidentified seem to have released a version of the map. Would he just be a generalized promotional graphic, or does he represent the actual Pentagon map showing what the AATIP discovered during his UFO investigations? Danny Silva comments on his website. Detractors of the efforts and critics of the TTSA to the Stars Academy program speculated madly, argued and even hoped that the Unidentified series did not include any new information, thus being discarded quickly and forgotten, proving its comments as being derogating and returning the ufological research community to the stagnation of the previous decades, in which the flow of information was much slower and sometimes non-existent, a place where they apparently feel comfortable and thrive. But we don't. I hope that serious information bombs including the map will be released in the series, or around it, which will change the conversation about UFOs. As Luis Elizondo stated, if recently the Navy reported changes in the guidelines, the Pentagon admitted the AATIP and studied UFOs, and the bombastic article of the NY Times are not enough to do so, so perhaps unconfirmed rumors, but apparently solid partnerships between the TTSA and Lockheed Martin Boeing will be realized. Leaving the highly plausible partnership scenarios aside, the Unidentified series will already have released new information immediately in episode 2, proving that the detractors have misled. The map of the Pentagon hotspot AATIP UFO. The second episode is also scheduled to discuss transmedia travel, or the ability to travel through space, air and water almost equally, a capacity that no known artificial technology possesses. Less than 2 years ago, we would never have imagined the Pentagon launching images of UFOs UAP. Since then, the Navy has admitted several sightings and interactions with UFOs around each coast of the United States and the Middle East. Apparently, in the second episode, we can also confirm that the UFO program of the government, the AATIP, accompany these occurrences in many places more than previously known. The admission of a high-activity map of UAP government access by government former is shocking and yet another piece that we can fit into the biggest puzzle of confirmation uncovering. One question that Danny Silva leaves is whether this map seen above is just a promotional version, or if there will be more details in episode 2, which will be aired in the US on June 7.